Things are heating up in Las Vegas this week, and there's plenty of chatter buzzing among Raiders fans. The offense still hasn't clicked and needs to show real life on Sunday. There's a hot trade rumor for a quarterback, a tough matchup against the Titans, a draft projection shaking up the fan base, and, get this, some serious internal pressure that could blow up at any moment. But before we dive into all that, let me talk to you real quick. Hit that subscribe button. It's free and helps keep this Raiders talk going strong. Smash that like too, because it helps YouTube share this video with more members of Raider Nation. And drop a comment, because this space belongs to every single one of us who lives by just win, baby. To be honest, this Raiders offense is testing everyone's patience. 5 weeks in and it still looks lost. When the team brought in Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, the idea was to build something fast, creative, modern. But so far, it's been a mess. The plan was simple. Balance between Geno Smith's veteran leadership and Ashton Jeanty's energy on the ground. On paper, it made sense. On the field, total disaster. Geno's reads are slow, his decisions are off, and the turnovers keep killing drives. But here's the thing. Statistically, the offense isn't hopeless. They're middle of the pack in total yards, ranked 18th in the league. The problem comes in the red zone. They crumble every time. Maybe it's confidence, maybe it's bad play calling, but they can't finish. If they fix that, there's at least a chance of becoming average again. And this Week 6 game against the Titans? It's a survival test. Their defense can be beaten if you stay consistent. The secondary's shaky, and that front seven, while physical, has been giving up long runs. If Jeanty can repeat his 138-yard day against Chicago, things could start turning around. The betting lines have Geno at 224.5 passing yards and Jeanty at 71.5 rushing yards. Those are beatable numbers, but only if the turnovers stop. Geno's averaging 235 yards per game, which isn't bad, but 9 interceptions in 5 games? Brutal. The Titans know that, and they'll attack early to force mistakes. So, the big question, how long will Carroll keep pushing this plan? You can feel the locker room losing faith. The defense is fighting, but the offense keeps throwing it away. If it doesn't change in Week 6, things could turn ugly in Vegas fast. Drop your thoughts below. Do you still believe this offense can turn it around? Because the next story might change your mind completely. This quarterback trade talk is back in full force, and it's no surprise. Geno Smith's experience doesn't mean much when the turnovers pile up. 9 interceptions in 5 games, that kills any rhythm. And now the name making the rounds is a familiar one for Pete Carroll. Russell Wilson. Yep, the same Wilson who's had a rocky few years and, according to Bleacher Report, could be a cheap target. Just a $2 million base salary, pocket change compared to the mistakes the Raiders have already paid for. But hold up, it's not that simple. As tempting as it sounds, Wilson isn't that guy anymore. He's lost mobility, confidence, and that magic touch in crunch time. Sure, the cost makes sense, but is it worth repeating the same mistake? Carroll's connection with him is strong, and that's the concern. If this becomes emotional, a let me save my old QB move, it could backfire big time. Raider Nation doesn't want nostalgia. They want a rebuild. Geno's struggling, no doubt, but swapping one aging vet for another won't fix anything. Geno himself seems aware of the pressure. In interviews, he's talked about staying grounded, finding balance, even seeking counseling to manage stress. You can tell he's feeling it, but the locker room doesn't wait. Results do. Kenny Pickett's the backup, but no one's buying into that plan either. That's why the trade buzz keeps growing. Still, half the fan base is thinking, why bring in another washed-up veteran? It's a fair question. And honestly, if this offense doesn't respond against Tennessee, this conversation is going to explode. There's probably more smoke than fire right now, but in the NFL, where there's smoke, someone's usually fanning it. Stick around, because the next piece shows exactly how much pressure Carroll's under, and this opponent won't go easy. This game against the Titans feels like a make-or-break moment for the Raiders. Fans are tired of talk, they want fight, and the opponent, no pushover. Tennessee's coming off a big comeback win over the Cardinals and has confidence to burn. Carroll praised them in his presser for their fight and persistence, but you can tell he's worried, and he should be. Rookie QB Cam Ward is unpredictable, mobile, and dangerous. He's the kind of player that drives defenses crazy. And that's bad news, because the Raiders have been getting torched by mobile quarterbacks all season. It happened against Chicago, it happened against the Chargers. Linebackers lose containment, the D-line can't keep him in the pocket, and suddenly he's scrambling for yards or hitting someone deep. Ward can do both, run and throw on the move. Carroll admitted there's limited film on him, which means the Titans have the element of surprise. And with how slow the Raiders have been at adjusting, that's a scary thought. The defense has held its own, but it's hard to keep the energy up when the offense keeps giving the ball back. 3-and-outs, turnovers, it's draining. If the offense stalls again early, Tennessee is going to smell blood and go straight for the kill. Honestly, this is the type of game that shows who really wants to save the season. Losing at home again to a rebuilding team would be the final straw for a lot of fans. Carroll keeps talking about focus and preparation, but what Raider Nation wants to see is fire, urgency, emotion, fight. If the team doesn't deliver, the pressure on Carroll and Geno is going to explode. Sunday could decide everything. Either they spark some hope, or the countdown to big changes officially begins. And speaking of change, the next part dives into the future. Mock drafts, potential rebuilds, and the big question of what's next for this franchise. Some fans have already waved the white flag. And honestly, who can blame them? When you start 1-4 and lead the league in interceptions, it's natural to start thinking draft. The 2026 NFL Draft is already on everyone's radar, and even some analysts think this season's cooked. Daniel Flick from Sports Illustrated dropped his latest mock and has the Raiders picking 6th overall, grabbing quarterback Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina. The kid's a physical freak, 6'3", 240 pounds, cannon arm, elite mobility, the kind of prospect that makes you believe again, at least on tape. But talking draft in October is painful. It means the season's already dead. The Raiders went all in this offseason, brought in Geno, hired Carroll, reshaped the roster, and what's the return? A lost offense and a team with no identity. Geno was supposed to bring stability, but became the face of frustration. The worst part? He's still owed $18.5 million guaranteed next season. That's a lot of money for this kind of production. The only silver lining is that the team could cut ties after the season with little cap damage. So if a reset is coming, this offseason is the time. But this rebuild has to be done right. Raider Nation's seen this movie before. New coach, new QB, new promises, same disappointment. What they need now is vision, not another patch job. If Sellers is the guy, the team must build around him properly. Fix the O-line, keep the young core, stop wasting money on fading veterans, and honestly, if they lose again this week, the noise for change will be deafening. Talking draft might be exciting, but fans want effort now. They want a team worthy of screaming, "Just win, baby!" And that leads right into the next part, because the scenario the Raiders are desperate to avoid might already be unfolding behind the scenes. We've reached that point in the season where everyone in the locker room feels the pressure. The Raiders are 1-4, the offense is lifeless, and the same questions keep coming up. Is it Geno's fault? Carroll's? The roster? Truth is, nobody's safe. Raider Nation's patience is gone, and the tension in Vegas is real. Fox Sports' Ben Arthur ranked Geno 30th among NFL quarterbacks. 30th. That means only 2 guys are worse right now. A huge fall from his Seattle days. The issue isn't just stats, it's confidence. Geno looks hesitant, jittery, every bad throw snowballing into another mistake. Arthur tried to give him a pass on one pick versus the Colts, a tipped ball in the red zone, but the rest? No excuses. Geno's forcing throws into tight windows, holding the ball too long, missing reads. It's like he still hasn't grasped Chip Kelly's system, and that's terrifying 5 games in. The worst part? Carroll keeps defending him, calling it a process and saying, "We're improving." But what we're seeing looks more like regression. The run game has flashes, sure, but the playbook feels stiff, and word is the locker room's already showing cracks. Fans see it too. If nothing changes, Carroll's going down with Geno. Mark Davis isn't known for patience. He's pulled the trigger before and could easily do it again. Pickett might not be the perfect fix, but at least it'd show the team's trying. Fans just want to see effort, fire, something to believe in. Because at this point, it's not just about saving the season, it's about saving credibility. Raider Nation hates being a punchline. Week 6 is the turning point. Either this team fights back or chaos takes over. And if you think this is rock bottom, wait until you hear the ending. After everything, you can feel it. Every decision from here on out matters. The offense is stuck, the QB's shaken, the coach is under fire, and the fans have had enough of excuses. There's still time to turn it around, but it has to start now. No speech, no slogan, just action. Show grit, show pride, show fight. Drop your comments, Raider Nation. This space belongs to all of us. And stay tuned, because just when you think you've seen it all, the Raiders find a way to shock us again.